Alright, today I've got this Traxxas light kit for the K10 pickup. It's not going to be a complicated install or anything, but I figured I'd film it up, and we're going to install the lights later tonight. We'll see how they work. Like I said, this is the Traxxas branded one. There's a couple of different aftermarket ones you can get, but I just decided to go with this because I know it will work and likely won't give me any trouble. So let's take this light kit and install it on this awesome TRX4 High Trail Edition pickup. Gonna start by taking out the body, which is really easy in this case. Just those clips. And I think we'll have to be doing some work on the chassis and the body, but I haven't opened the instructions yet, so we'll take the kit and open it up and check it out. The scissors are not very sharp. And here's a look at everything that comes in the kit. We've got some zip ties, a distribution block, a mount for the distribution block. We got some headlight reflectors, some screws. We got a little jumper here, the LED module. I think these are your tail lights. We'll find out as we put it together. So the first step is to install this LED lighting module, and it's got a pre-built screw holes here, so it should be relatively easy to install. Looks like it's orientated like this, and you've got two hex screws that should hold it in. Seems easy enough. We'll just secure those guys down. I don't think that's going anywhere. Now we have to reroute the wires from this side underneath the battery tray to the other side where it's going to plug in. Well, let's just undo the battery tray real quick. I should be able to just pull it up and fit it under there. Maybe make it a little easier on myself here instead of fiddling with it. There we go. We got some room now. Gonna send it on through. There we go. I had it. There we go. Up through. There we go. I think we're going to connect this on this side to this block, so I think I'm going to have to take the cover off. Just got to take the receiver box cover off, which looks to be 3 screws. They're all the same size bit, so that makes it a little easier. Don't have to keep switching. I've got a magnetic end on too, which makes it easier. Oh, it looks like they might stay right in there. Anyway, all right, we got that open. This is where our next step's gonna be. So once we got the wire through under the battery tray, it says to go through the hole in the box in the receiver. So we took the cap off of the receiver, and there's a hole with a rubber connector here. So I think it wants us to go through here. And then we can, you know, when we're ready, we can put the cover back in. Now it says you can use silicone on it. I'm not taking this any water anytime soon, so I may silicone it at a later time, but this is gonna plug into channel 1, which you can see on here. There's labels that say, you know, channel 1, channel 2. So this looks like it's just going to go right here and plug in there, and then we can put this guy back on, and then we'll kind of clamp the wire here with this rubber connector. I think that's where it wants us to go. It said through the hole in the receiver box, but it's the only real hole I see. So yeah, now I can put screws back on the receiver box and close that back up. So you want to make sure that this is evenly on the bottom, and that so that the O-ring that waterproofs it is sealed. So you want to make sure that O-ring's intact before you put this on, not bent in any way. You can go ahead and throw the screws right on. Close that guy back up. You can probably wait till the very end to tighten them so that you're ensuring that the O-ring is not sticking out, or you're not uneven or pinching the O-ring in a certain way. So put that last one on, tighten them up. Tighten it down, nice and firm, not too firm because it's probably just plastic threads. The box is good, and our wire's going in the top right here. And at a later point, I'll probably throw some silicone on here just to seal it up, but I don't really go in the water too often. So I think that should do. And that, I think, does it for the chassis right now. I think this is gonna plug in over here, but it didn't say to do that yet, so I'll get rid of that. All right, so we're gonna remove these headlight assemblies that are black here. Gonna replace them with the new headlight one. I can't see here. Tough to see in this lighting that I have right now. So we're gonna be installing those reflectors. So get the upper one. The body's kind of awkward to hold and do this at the same time. All right, got both of those out. We are headlightless. So we got our new headlight in there with the reflector. All right, so you need to sandwich the light back with the old backing plate, because that's what's going to hold it in. The screw hangs onto this black backing plate. So slide it in. Need more hands because it doesn't like snap in. So we got one headlight in, and that's kind of what it looks like there. The other side is just that LED back plate here with the light. So we're going to throw the reflector on with the open spot on the bottom to make room for wires. You throw that on. You throw the clear cover on. And then you throw the backing plate back on. And same deal. Back in. Nice and snug. And we got our headlights in there. You can see that there's the side marker lights, which I believe are just going to insert right into the side markers. They just slide right in there. Nice and easy. Hard to show it on camera just because of the way the body is So, side marker, slide it in. I think it's pretty cool that it comes with the side marker lights. So I want to install the tail lights now. So it says to keep the short side on the left. So we want the long side over here, and then the shorter side is going to stay right here. So we want these wiring harnesses to be near each other. But yeah, these guys just slide in. They kind of snap when you get them in. The side's giving me, there we go. There's like a nice snap back there. So they actually built this with the lights in mind, because there's a bunch of little zip tie holders throughout the body, and these are just little hooks. You don't need to tighten them too tight, but just they built in all of this planning for it, which is nice, because it makes it easier. Takes out the guessing work of where I should put the wires. But yeah, there's quite a few of these little mounting points, and you kind of want to, leave it loose so that it can move around a little bit if needs be. Built into the frame, there's these little tiny mounting hooks, and they're kind of throughout the body. You can see one right here. Yeah, that's a good view of it. And you just throw a zip tie through it. So they kind of planned ahead. There's two right here, one right here, one right there, and then the headlights have them built in for the side markers. And then I'll just cut off the excess zip tie once I get them in. So I'm reading the instructions here, and this is originally for the Blazer, the K10 Blazer, and this is the K10 pickup. So they include this bracket and some tape, but it looks like this body has built-in mounting for the distribution block, because you can see this fits perfectly. Now, the one thing that's confusing, so this is a distribution block, and it will go on here like this. But they didn't include screws for it. But I'm imagining this is how it's going to go. So I'm going to have to see if I have screws that'll fit in there. Because they gave you 2 more screws, which I think are just to attach the distribution block to this little bracket. You can see there's a bracket here. This is going to go like this. But I only have 2 screws for this. So I'm just going to look and see if I have the screws for that. But it didn't say that. It said this kit is good for this one too, so we'll see. So I can't find the right screws, but I've got this big old box full of different size screws. So I'm gonna make this work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill out the mounts here so that I can use the screws that I have. It just needs to be a little bigger. So I've got this bit. We're gonna do a quick drill. Hopefully that will work. Let's see, these are got a couple different ones. Okay. Kind of hard to see from that distance, but I believe our headlight one is going to go here. I don't know what the yellow is. Okay, so this, I plugged in the side markers to the yellow, but I don't want that. It needs to go in the other white one. I'll get some pliers. Of course, these bands are color coded and I just didn't look at them, so that's on me. Alright, those go in good. Make sure the jumper's in there. I don't think the yellow is going to anything. And then there's a blue and red on the back for the taillights. But we only have red, so we're going to plug that in. There we go. That's a good thing. Okay. So now I'm going to reattach the distribution block to the bracket and install it to the cage. Yeah, this would have been tough to do with the distribution block attached to the mount. Yeah, so drilling out the holes worked. I mean, I've got this little kit of screws, which is various sizes. Not the sizes I needed. That's where the drill bit comes in. Okay. So now I'm going to attach the distribution block and bracket to the cage. And my screwdriver does not fit. Let's get the littler one. I also have Allen keys. But this little screwdriver should fit. Yeah, it does. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that went right in. Get the other screw in here. And then our basic install, all of our physical stuff is pretty much done, I believe. So this is what it looks like. I got the distribution block with the fronts going. Assuming I got them in the right places. It says on the Blazer you'll need to cut the chassis to fit the wiring for the markers, but I'm assuming with this one it's going to just fit on there. So I got the lights installed on the body. I didn't see where it said to plug this in here, but I'm assuming this is where this plugs in. It looks like it's a match. So we're going to plug that in here, and I'm going to get a LiPo, and it looks like it has a little wire. Alright, so I'm going to get a LiPo, and we're going to see if these work. Okay, got a LiPo. Now I'm using a different connector than the standard Traxxas models use. I'm using an IC5 connector on the battery, and in order to fit these batteries, I had to remove the lockdown. So I just use a Velcro strap to tie in my battery, which has worked fine. And then I had the connector soldered onto here. So this isn't the Traxxas connector; it's the IC5. Okay. So batteries in there. This is just a 50C 3S battery. So I don't know where. I'm assuming this just connects to any port on that battery connector. So we're gonna just try that. And before I put everything together, we can turn it on. All right. course I have the body backwards. You know what? I don't have the remote. Didn't start it without the remote because it might go driving off on its own here. Alright, we got our remote. Our remote's on. We're plugged in to the module. So let's boot it on. There we go. We got lights. Nice. Let's throw the body on and I can do a showcase of it. It looks like the body's gonna go on just fine. Yeah, clips right in. Got our headlights. Got our side markers. I got our taillights. Nice. Yeah, seems to be good. They're really bright. I think the jumper that we installed in the distribution block says that when you have the jumper, it allows high beam light mode, and when the jumper is not in there, it's still regular working lights. But yeah, it looks good. That wasn't too bad of an install. I'm gonna clean up the zip ties, and we got lights. So I first ran my SEX6 trail honcho with lights, and I didn't know if it was going to be gimmicky or not, but it really wasn't. I really enjoyed it. I took it out to the rocks at nighttime. It was really bright. It did awesome. I thought that the shots looked great. Like everything just kind of went together really good, and I had fun doing it. So I will probably definitely take this guy out and run it with the lights. I'll probably take the honcho out too and kind of compare how these headlights go up against the trail honcho. The trail honcho has more lights. It has some light buckets, so these are still pretty bright. So I think they'll still do pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna clip those zip ties, just clean this up, and then we'll take it out later tonight. Just for some initial footage to see how they do. So this was the first time I took it out, and there was definitely a lot of bleed through the body from the lights. This was just in my backyard in a little course I have back there. The lights work great. You can see them working great here, but you can see the bleed through quite a bit, which I address with some tape. So when I ran the truck for the first time at night, I realized that the light was bleeding through the body. I mean, the light was they're just so bright that you could see kind of hot spots on the paint on the outside. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking some duct tape and I'm just wrapping the light areas with the tape. And I'll try to run it and see if it gets rid of that bleeding, because the bleeding doesn't really look that good. So I'm just taking some tape and I'm wrapping it. I mean, obviously this is kind of temporary. I might end up spray painting the body with either truck bed liner or black paint or something to try to prevent the bleeding through, but it's kind of just a temporary workaround to see if I can get it to stop bleeding through and make it look better when it's running at night. So I took the truck out after putting the tape on, and I got rid of pretty much all of the body bleed, which looked great. The truck looked great. Unfortunately, it was really dark, so I did film some rock climbing, but it was really hard to see everything. I really should have had kind of a spotlight to help lighten everything up. But overall, it did really well. It lit up the rocks really well. I enjoy it running at night, and I definitely need to take it out to my regular spots. This was kind of just a random spot that I chose to try to get some footage for this video, but yeah, I like the light kit. It looks good. Worked great. No complaints.